You spray in spring, you still lose through body the 90% of your tomatoes by August, and you paid through 30 to 80 to make it worse. That sting you feel, it's not on you. Spring sprays kill beneficials and miss summer pest surges, slashing tomato yields. The problem isn't you, it's the system you were taught. Here's the fix. A trap crop strip that soaks up the first waves, and a quail patrol lane that converts those pests into protein. No scouting, no midsummer panic sprays, just a loop that gets stronger every season.
First, the trap strip border. Make a 2 to 3 foot wide band on the windward edge of your tomato block. Put it where your prevailing breeze enters the garden. Random flowers, same timing. Broadcast a mix of amaranth, dwarf sunflowers, and cowpeas. Don't overthink the pattern. Toss and rake them in on the same day so they rise together. Plant this border 2 to 3 weeks before your tomatoes go out. The early growth is the lure. That timing intercepts the first egg-laying wave. For layout, run 1 trap border per every 2 to 3 tomato rows. In a small yard, a single windward strip is enough. Why this works? Piercing sucking pests like leaf-footed bugs, stink bugs, and aphids are lazy flyers. They ride the breeze and hit the first tall, tender, high-sugar, high-amino plants they smell and see. Young amaranth and cowpea hit those signals. Sunflower gives height and silhouette. The border becomes the buffet line before your tomatoes even register.
Second, the quail patrol lane. Give your birds the job, not your sprayer. Set up an 18 to 24 inch wide fenced and netted bug moat running the length of that trap strip and along the outside of your tomato beds. This is a narrow corridor with low fencing and net overhead, so quail stay focused, hawks stay out, and bugs can't jump past without crossing beaks. Drop 1 to 2 shallow water pans in the lane, so birds keep working the route, even in the heat. Quail sweep pests without uprooting. They peck and patrol. They don't till like chickens. They slide under lower foliage, grab nymphs and adults, and move on. Your roots stay put, your mulch stays down.
Third, timed release. Birds can be out any time of day, but you control the patrol window. Start full patrols when your tomatoes begin to flower. That's when fruiting energy ramps and pest pressure spikes. Release mornings and evenings when movement is high. Leaf-footed bugs and stink bugs move to feed in the cool and ride low breezes. Aphids shift host them too. Midday, they hunker. You're sinking beaks to peak pest traffic. Fourth, the shake and drop routine. Don't waste time scouting. Assume pests are coming. Use the trap plants as your gauge. Once a day, stand on the trap strip side and shake the amaranth, sunflower heads, and cowpea vines over the quail lane. Leaf-footed nymphs, stink bugs, aphids, and caterpillars drop. The birds do the sorting. You're converting pests into quail protein. Today's damage becomes tonight's dinner. That's free feed you don't have to buy.
Fifth, the trap reset. Let the traps overflow. That's their job. When you see clusters building on heads or vines, chop those infested parts and toss them into the lane. Keep the lure hot, not exhausted. Resow any thin gaps in the strip every couple weeks. A handful of seed keeps tender growth coming. You're breaking breeding cycles while keeping a fresh magnet right where you want it. Why this system works, in plain language. Habitat beats habits. Pests don't search randomly. They surf wind and follow plant chemistry. Your early, tall, tender trap strip is the first on-ramp. Timing beats spraying. The first egg layers decide the season. Catch the first colonies and you cut exponential growth. Missing that wave is why June looks fine and August looks wrecked. Mouthparts matter. Piercing sucking insects prefer soft tissue with accessible phloem. Amaranth and cowpea scream easy calories. Your tomatoes, especially when slightly tougher and well-fed, are second choice. Behavior matters. Morning, evening is commute time. You meet them at the crosswalk with hungry birds. Biology compounds. Fewer pests on tomatoes means less plant stress, thicker cuticles, better fruit set, and stronger natural resistance. Meanwhile, quail droppings land where your traps grow, feeding the lure that keeps pests off the crop.
The loop this creates. Traps catch first waves, quail feast, fewer reach tomatoes, plants rebound bigger each season. More bugs feed quail, quail linger, droppings fertilize traps, traps lure even more. Traps self-seed, birds learn roots, labor drops, yields climb year over year.
With sprays, many backyard growers watch their 30 to 50% of fruit get stung, scarred, or dropped in bug-heavy summers. With this trap plus quail system, that loss drops to 10 to 15%. A team of the 4 to 6 quail comfortably patrols their 100 to 200 square feet of lane and will eat roughly through 150 to 300 pests a day when the strip is humming. Keep that trap border through 2 to 3 feet wide and run 1 strip for every 2 to 3 tomato rows. Don't skimp on width, it's your catch basin. Plant the trap border through 2 to 3 weeks earlier than tomatoes to intercept the first egg-laying wave. That's the pivot that changes the season.
you'll skip their 2 to 4 spray rounds. That's $30 to $80 saved, and your pollinators and predatory wasps keep working for you instead of dying for nothing.
Climate logic for zones từ 7 đến 10. Warm temperate to subtropical means long staggered pest waves. Your shield is freshness in the strip and steady controls, not calendar dates. In Zone 7, start seeds under row cover if nights are cool. You still want that 2 to 3 week head start on traps. In Zone 9 to 10 heat, add a little afternoon shade on the quail lane and keep water pans topped so patrols continue. Colder than 7, start trap transplants in trays to jump the clock. Hotter than 10, use shorter sunflowers and more cowpea to avoid lodging in storms.
What to expect the first season. Weeks 1 to 2 after trap germination, you'll see aphids and early nymphs on the strip. Good. Don't panic. Start the shake and drop. As tomatoes flower, quail patrols morning and evening keep pressure down. You'll notice fewer sting bug stings on young fruit. Midsummer, chop and drop infested heads, resow gaps, and keep water in the lane. The strip stays attractive. Tomatoes keep stacking clean clusters. By late summer, you'll still have pests, but they're concentrated where your birds can reach them. That's the difference between cosmetic scars and fruit you actually harvest. Common worries answered quickly. Will quail uproot tomatoes? No, they peck, they don't till. Keep the lane defined and netted, and they work edges without wrecking roots. Will they eat beneficials? Some, but you've skipped sprays, so your lady beetles and parasitic wasps rebound. Netting focuses birds where pests concentrate, not across every flower in the garden. Do I need a huge flock? No. 4 to 6 birds are enough for 100 to 200 square feet. Scale the lane, not the chaos.
How this replaces spring sprays. Spring spray knocks out early predators and pollinators, then misses the July surge when leaf-footed bugs explode. You end up with fewer allies and more enemies. The trap strip grabs the surge before it forms. The quail lane liquidates it daily. You spent time, not toxins, and you built capacity instead of debt.
Simple steps to start this week. Pick your windward edge. Mark a 2 to 3 foot wide strip along the breeze-facing side of your tomato zone. Buy seeds: amaranth, dwarf sunflowers, cowpeas. Mix some dry in a bucket. Broadcast that mix now, 2 to 3 weeks before your tomatoes. Rake in, water once, then as needed. Set a 18 to 24 inch wide lane with low fencing and netting along the trap strip and tomato edge. Drop in 2 shallow water pans. Source 4 to 6 quail. Get them used to the lane for a few days. When tomatoes flower, release birds into the lane mornings and evenings. Each day, shake the trap strip over the lane. Let the birds do the rest. Each week, chop heavily infested heads into the lane and resow any gaps in the strip. Cancel the next spray reminder. Pocket the $30 to $80. Keep your pollinators. Plant traps early. Patrol with quail. Skip sprays. Concentrate pests. Convert to protein. Double tomatoes.